Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning to everyone. My name is Ezzul Hilman bin Dani, metric number 829473. Today I will be presenting my proposal defense, which is titled A Comparative Analysis of the Performance of Private Retirement Schemes and Unit Trusts in Malaysia. We'll go through this is the contents that we will go through today. Background of the study, issues, research questions, research objectives, literature reviews, underpinning model, research framework, operational definition, significance of the study, research methodology, and instrument used. Now, for the background of the private retirement scheme is that since the launching of the One Malaysia pension scheme and the Employees Provident Fund (EPF) in 2010, the private retirement industry in Malaysia had been steadily growing. I quoted it from Yon, which is Prof. Dr. Asma Laili, which is one of the basis papers for my study. As of November 2021, there are 58 funds approved by the Securities Commission. As PRS structured funds are relatively new in the Malaysian financial sector, which is deemed crucial for the betterment of the retirees' savings, which is as a supplementary savings for their retirement. Ripai and Ahmad in 2018 had claimed, this is for unit trust, had claimed that the Malaysian market for unit trusts had been established as early as the year 1959. The first player in this market is a company called the Malayan Unit Trust Limited. This is the background for unit trusts. Unit trusts had undergone 4 phases of development in Malaysia, which is the formative years from 1959 to 1999, 1980 to 1990, 1991 to 1999, and 2000 to the present years. The formative years from 1959 to 1999 had seen slow growth in the sales of unit trusts and a distinct lack of public interest in the newly minted investment product, which is the unit trust. There were only 5 unit trust management companies during this period of time, and with a total of 18 funds introduced over this period. From the year 1980 to 1990, the government had participated in the unit trust industry, which is through ASN and ASB, and continued with the construction of a committee as a regulator of the unit trust industry, which is called the Informal Committee for Unit Trust Funds. From the year 1991 to 1999, the unit trust industry had gone through the fastest period of growth in terms of funds under management and the number of new assets management companies which is registered. From the year 2000 until recently, the unit trust industry had in 2005, the net asset value of managed funds is 98.5 billion ringgit, capitalizing 14.2% of Bursa Malaysia's market, which means that of all the shares in Bursa Malaysia, 14.2% in 2005, 14.2% is owned by unit trusts. For the problem statement, these PRS funds are relatively new in the Malaysian financial scene as compared to the unit trust industry. Therefore, the performance of PRS funds must be studied, evaluated, compared with the unit trust, as the number of PRS funds and PRS products that are being churned out every year increases as I stated previously. As of November 2021, there are 58 PRS funds available. In addition to that, the existing literature on this topic of private retirement schemes, especially on the Scopus platform, is very, very scarce. If you type private retirement scheme as a keyword in the Scopus platform, it will only yield about 6 papers, just 6 papers for the keyword private retirement scheme. Therefore, the literature um, knowledge base is very limited. Therefore, it is hoped that This study may provide a valuable addition to the knowledge base and enrich the literature regarding private retirement schemes. These are my research question and research objectives. My research question is the performance of private retirement scheme as a group superior to that of the domestic KLSE Composite Index, KLCI? Does the performance of private retirement scheme compare to how does the performance of private retirement scheme compare to a portfolio of Malaysian unit trusts? And does private retirement scheme have a positive performance persistence? These are my research objectives: to investigate the performance of private retirement scheme as a group superior to that of domestic benchmark, the KLSE Composite Index, KLCI, to examine the performance of private retirement scheme compared to a portfolio of Malaysian unit trusts, to analyze whether the private retirement schemes have a positive performance persistence. These are the two examples of the literature review on private retirement schemes that I included in my study. Both of these are from UUM, and both of these are uh, literature on private retirement schemes, but in terms of their legislative or the law, in terms of law, in terms of regulation, these are both from the law perspective. For the unit trust, there are significantly more uh, there are significantly more studies that can be found as for unit trust, and Abdullah is also from UUM. Abdullah is Professor Dr. Adiana Hiao, which is her study is I made as the basis for my study, which is as a comparison study between financial products. In her study, for this study, it is studied about how the performance of domestically invested unit trusts compared to the performance of internationally invested unit trusts. Norma et al. Is also a comparative study between Islamic and conventional unit trusts. So therefore, the similarities with these two basis study for my proposal defense is because they are both comparison studies, and I want to compare between the private retirement schemes and unit trusts. Next is the performance measurement models. These are the three performance measurement models that are very popular uh, for performance measurement, which are the Trenor, Sharpe ratio, and Jensen's alpha. These are the operational definition, unit trust, private retirement scheme definition, and private pension administrator (PPA). Private pension administrator is the regulator for PRS funds. So they are they um, responsible for record keeping and for joint regulation with the SC for the private retirement schemes that are available in Malaysia. This is the framework of research framework. This is the significance of the study. There are three significance of the study: from the academic perspective, from the legislative perspective, and from the practical perspective. For the academic perspective, as I said earlier, the basis knowledge base for private retirement scheme is still very little, because the earliest private retirement scheme that we can get is from 2012. So the knowledge base is still very little. From the legislative perspective, this study wants to contribute to whether or not the private retirement scheme is a good addition to the financial ecosystem, and therefore what are the guidelines that what are the guidelines that can be used for the private retirement schemes that can be produced as new guidelines for private retirement schemes. For practical studies, this studies private retirement schemes, and especially in these times of COVID-19 pandemic, when people suddenly realize they don't have the enough savings for their retirement, and therefore this study provides additional knowledge for them to have confidence in saving in PRS funds for their future. This study used for the research methodology. This study used historical or archival research, which is data from previous price performance data from PRS. The population is from for all PRS funds data is from PPA website, and for unit trusts and treasury bills is from the Bloomberg terminal. uh, Sampling framework is from 2012, which is the earliest found data on PRS, to 2002 for too recently. Sampling design is to analyze all data available for PRS funds and unit trusts for the period of 2012 to 2032, and unit analysis is archival document. Okay, for the instrument used is the to measure the performance of PRS funds and unit trust is the model of Sharp, Treno, and Jensen's alpha performance measures. This instrument had been used by Bu et al., Alam et al., and Abdullah, which I have mentioned earlier. These are very popular performance measurement models that are used for comparison. And that's all for now. That's all from me. Thank you so much. I open for question and answer period.